Women of grace and women of power, before you enter the circle today, please let's breathe. Close your eyes, inhale deeply through your nose, and exhale slowly. Blow it out. Anything that can possibly interfere with your rising today, it must go. Now, center yourself because today we're going to explore a transformational topic. Exit, EXIT, to enter, ENTER. Have you ever been in a place, a mindset, a career, a circumstance, anything that no longer serves you or no longer makes you feel comfortable, or a place where you've been thinking about moving forward toward but just haven't? Or have you moved forward and for some reason that space is taking far too long to move through? Today, we'll explore how the principle of exiting one thing is essential to entering something greater. Welcome to the Purple Circle, the podcast where we explore success strategies rooted in spiritual principles, personal growth, and divine alignment. I'm Dr. Sandi Williams, and the journey for you is a journey for me as well. I was pondering the last few days the Red Sea and the Jordan River. The people of Israel, the Israelites, were enslaved in Egypt for many years. Their exit, EXT, out of Egypt was via crossing the Red Sea. The Israelites had to cross the Red Sea, wander for 40 years, but they did arrive at the border of the Promised Land. They crossed the Jordan River to enter, ENTER, the land God had promised them. Are you beginning to sense where I'm going with this? Before they could enter the new land, they had to exit the old land. So, just as important as the act of entering is the act of exiting. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot enter anything unless you exit something else. Practically thinking, if you want to enter a room in your home, you need to exit another space or another room in order to get there. You can't blink yourself there. You can't worry yourself there. You must move yourself there. Women of grace and women of power, if you want to get to the place where you are not, you must first leave the place where you are. Where do you need to go? What promised land have you been called to enter? And what must you do first to leave? What must you leave first? Let's talk about the necessity of the exit. The first step to entering something new is realizing when it's time to exit. Sometimes we hold on to comfort zones, familiar struggles, or past versions of ourselves out of fear of the unknown. The Israelites were in Egypt for 400 years. Slavery became their norm. God had a promise for them, but they had to be willing to leave captivity. You cannot embrace freedom while holding on to bondage. Whatever that bondage is, sometimes we can dwell in bondage so long that it begins to feel normal. What are you holding on to that is keeping you from your next level? Let's talk about the discomfort of transition. Leaving is hard because transition can feel like a wilderness. It's the space between where you were and where you're going. After exiting Egypt, the Israelites spent 40 years in the wilderness. not because God wasn't ready, but because their mindset wasn't ready. Fear, doubt, complaining, saying to yourself is not the right time, procrastinating, saying to yourself maybe it's not that bad, delaying the action to a more convenient time. Is that keeping you from stepping into your promise sooner? Faith, honestly, is required in that in between moment. Trusting the outcome is in God's hands, not yours. God alone is in the outcome business. So let's talk about the power of entering. We talked about exiting. We talked about the discomfort of transition. Now let's talk about the power of entering. The exit itself isn't just about leaving, it's about stepping into something greater. When the Israelites finally entered the promised land, it was abundant, a land flowing with milk and honey, goodness and mercy. Every God ordained exit leads to something better, even if you don't see it immediately. But isn't your future worth it? Isn't it something that you know in your heart will just propel you to something higher and more powerful and more delightful? Why would we settle for just okay when great is a part of your inheritance? Are you willing to step into your promise, even if it requires leaving the familiar behind? So, as we begin to close this episode, and at the end of every episode, we talked about we will always have a conscious shift. And remember, you know when we're shifting because you hear the bells. Today is called the Tanal, a powerful Hebrew word that means movement, motion, progress, and momentum. Life is a journey, and every step toward it is part of that movement. And as you press toward the higher calling, the mark, the new destination, the road may be rocky, it may be smooth, it may be hard, and it may be easy. It may be dangerous, and it may be pleasant, and it may be unbearable. And sometimes, even a peaceful path can lead to a cliff. But what if that cliff is not an ending, but a beginning? What if what looks like an obstacle is actually the door to your blessing, breakthrough, and transformation? Never judge your journey by what it looks like or feels like in the moment. Always keep your eyes on where it's taking you, the destination. Now ask yourself, what is your dream? Where do you want to go? What do you need to exit? The door in front of you is open. Are you ready to walk through it? Or have you chosen to wait? But if you wait, I need you to be fully aware. Unless you know something that I don't know, tomorrow is not promised. What is your Egypt? Where is your promised land? And are you willing? Are you willing to take the journey? The best tip I can give you is once you decide to move, don't look back. Move forward, step boldly, and walk through the door. Because the only way to reach your destiny is to keep it moving. Transition can be tough, but you'll get over it. Have you ever noticed that that which you thought was so hard, so bad, wasn't at all to the extent that you thought? Don't let your mind trip you up. Are you ready for your shift? Drop a note in the comments and declare your Tanah. Remember to follow us on Instagram at a Purple Circle Podcast. In the Purple Circle community, you'll have access to live workshops, spiritual challenges, exclusive content, and the support of an incredible sisterhood of women. You can also connect with us at purplecirclepodcast.com to comment And go there to get your free worksheet and steps to awaken your inner power. And you can also download the podcast Transformational Companion Journal that goes along with the podcast themes. Thank you for joining me on the Purple Circle today. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs encouragement. Why wouldn't you? Why not? Until next time, remember, Queens, you are powerful. You are worthy. And you are capable of transformation beyond your wildest dreams. Step boldly into your purpose and let's create magic together in the Purple Circle. Until next time, keep rising.